Hello, I'm Charles Kovess, Australasia's passion provocateur. Welcome to this week's episode of the Charles Kovess Show, whether you're watching on Rumble or YouTube or listening via one of the many podcast platforms. I will discuss whatever issues are engaging my thinking at a local or global level, and then explore how the principles of the self-awareness and passion quest can help you handle the issues that are before all of us so that you live life elegantly, effectively, on your terms. I will share resources from time to time that I consider will help you in your journey and that I've discovered, that are relevant to the particular issues that I'm discussing. The show notes give you links to the foundational principles of this show and details about my background, together with links to my websites kovess.com and charleskovess.com, where you can find a whole bunch of resources, my books, Passionate People Produce and Passionate Performance, as well as insights and links to great ways to live life. At the charleskovess.com website, you can find more details of the Self-Awareness and Passion Quest, which is a one-on-one executive coaching program. So let's go with today's issues. And in fact, I'm inspired to talk to you about Barbra Streisand's amazing recently released autobiography. So I want to talk about that book in the context of what you can learn from it, how you can be inspired from it, and how it will help you discover more about who you really are. After all, the self-awareness of who you really are enables you to make great decisions so that when you wake up in the morning, you're making decisions that are consistent with what you want and the life that you are creating. You are the creator of your life. I recommend books. There are people who aren't readers, but golly gosh, what a price you pay if you're not a reader. It's Christmas time. This autobiography by Barbra Streisand would be a magnificent gift to people who read. It's bloody long and it's enjoyable all the way through, all 950 pages of it. My father was a reader. My older brother is a reader. My younger sister is a reader. But some of my siblings are not readers. I love reading. I urge you to rekindle your love of reading, particularly reading physical books. There's a real benefit in having the kinesthetic experience. I've always loved the famous quote by Charlie Tremendous Jones, an American professional speaker who I heard about through the National Speakers Association, and I was president I was the national president of the Australian Professional Speakers Association that's aligned with the National Speakers of America. And Charlie Tremendous Jones, he said, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, you will be the same person you are today, except for the books that you read and the people that you meet. That's really stuck with me. The books I read and the people I meet is where my learning journey comes through. So, Barbra Streisand's book. Here it is, with her Nefertiti look on the front cover. My name is Barbara, and she dropped the second A, so it's Barbra. She wanted to have a different way to spell her name. Well, I've got 7 key insights. I could do 27, but I've really focused on the top 7 that really struck me. If you just embrace one of these, it can change your life. Firstly, it's 950 pages long. And it's incredibly detailed, and it's got so much detail because Barbra clearly kept extensive diary notes of her journey, of her insights, of the reasons why she took certain decisions. I keep extensive diaries. Julie keeps extensive diaries. I urge you to write. Julie's got a fantastic diary called My Awesome Diary. And it comes every 6 months, and I find it incredibly helpful to go back at a particular day. Oh, yes, what did I do on that day? And it's different too. I've got notebooks, plenty of notebooks, but the Awesome Diary has really helped me over the last 5 years to keep going back and putting into a date context what I've been doing at a particular time and why I thought that at a particular time. So Barbra Streisand, her ability to write this book with such profound insights was clearly enabled by the quality of her diary keeping. Second insight, the value of writing, not of typing your notes, not of typing your diary, but of writing your notes physically. There is a deep psychological impact in our writing of notes. I urge you to do it. It's much more impactful than typing on a computer. It's the kinesthetic experience. That's why I urge you to have physical books. The kinesthetic experience drives it more deeply into your subconscious. So if you're feeling lost, do your diary. Write down what it is that you are feeling. Identify what you're feeling. Don't just go, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling bad. In my book, Passionate People Produce, I talk about 500 words that I've identified that describe feelings. How many different words do you use to identify to yourself when you're thinking, what are you feeling? How many different words you use to describe what you are actually feeling? And then writing that down physically. And as you write it down, it then enables you to have much better recall. That's one of the reasons why I cut articles out of newspapers. I get physical newspapers and I cut articles out, and the act of cutting out important articles enables me to recall the content in those articles much better than if I'm just looking at a computer screen and going flick, 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 flick. You know, it's like the bloody Tinder, whatever Tinder is. Haha. Yes, I have read about what Tinder is, but there's a different experience of looking at someone on a Tinder screen and going out for a cup of coffee. That's the same thing with writing your notes physically. The third insight. Barbra Streisand gives us amazing psychological insights from all of the movies that she has performed in, that she has produced, that she has directed, and her unpacking of the psychology of what the movies were about, of why she produced them, directed them in the way that she did, of what she was trying to unpack in the complexity of your psychology, of my psychology, of the human psyche. You know, the book Prince of Tides, I remember when I saw it the first time versus later on, and the impact of childhood traumas. You know, just that's one. Another example is Funny Girl. Another example is A Star Is Born. Another example is Yentl. Like just, and the Mirror Has Two Faces. Wonderful, wonderful, deep psychological, enjoyable ways to increase your understanding of psychology. The fourth insight. Barbra Streisand is a global superstar. It is amazing that she's a superstar because of all of the hindrances that could have easily caused her to just give up early. Her mother told her she wasn't attractive. Barbara didn't think that she was attractive. A lot of blokes, when I talk about her now, because I've been raving about this book, they say, oh, no, she's not attractive. Well, I found myself, you know, it's very interesting, this question of attraction, because as I read more and more, Julie won't like me saying this. No, she will. She'll be okay on it. That the more I read and the more open that Barbara was, the more lovable she becomes. And, you know, it's an interesting question. It's an interesting question, beauty. Think about your own perspective about beauty. But gosh, she bears her soul in this book. But still, at an early age, her mother said she can't make it. Her mother was jealous of her. Her mother never praised any of her amazing achievements. Her dad died when she was young. Her stepfathers gave her a hard time. To succeed in the face of all of those odds, plus she was Jewish, from Brooklyn, no money or very little money, so her mother desperately, got married blokes because she needed some security. It's just a great inspiration that says it doesn't matter where you come from. You have this drive. If you want to do it, you are capable of achieving anything, as Barbra Streisand has. By the way, just to give you a context on this, she was born in 1942, so she's now 82 years of age. Insight number 5. She was scared of doing concerts in public. And for 27 years, she didn't do concerts in public. Can you believe that? She was doing these movies, but that's when there wasn't an audience there. She was scared. For 27 years, she avoided doing what she was absolutely fantastic at. She was producing all these records in studios, but not performing live. Isn't that amazing? How could someone be such a superstar and be scared of performing in front of you? And then, after 27 years, she started performing because she was asked to do so and offered a ridiculous amount of money for a charitable cause. And so the big enough reason to overcome the fear enabled her to overcome the fear. It didn't mean that she didn't have the fear. She keeps writing in the book about her nervousness, and if it's a younger demographic, people won't like her, and all of those fears constantly kept being proven to be wrong. But even in her mid-70s, she's having these fears, and yet she still went out and did it. So the lesson is, fear is not meant to stop you, because that's where the passion comes in. Passion is your source of courage. If you're scared of something, you tap into your passion because you want to achieve something, and then that passion is the source of your courage to then overcome the fear. If you live your life driven by fear, you will have a miserable life. Fear squashes you, passion expands you. The 6th big insight. And as I'm thinking about number 6, I'm just having a lovely cup of coffee. This is just, gosh, I don't know what it is today, but I'm just thoroughly loving this coffee. Thank you, Julie. Insight number 6. Barbara's autobiography is full of interactions with global superstars. And the salutary insight is that the doubts of most global superstars are huge, are real, are surprisingly big, are, surprisingly almost disabling, but they get on with doing what they wanted to do. And so we can fall into the trap of, because somebody's a celebrity, a superstar, we think they've made it and they don't have doubts. No, this book is constant reminder of all these, of these people in the let's call them celebrities, who are beset by doubts. It's and that gives me comfort, that because I often think I shouldn't have these doubts. I've been around long enough. No, having doubts is the natural journey. Why? Because, as I've said in previous shows, your reward for solving problems is not peace and happiness. Your reward for solving problems is bigger problems. And so these bigger problems then put us into new places where we have the doubts. The learning journey that's going to keep you young forevermore is the willingness to keep learning and growing, and therefore to have the doubts. And even the superstars and the celebrities have them. So that's the insight. And the insight number 7, I'll forget then. I won't do the next 10 after this. Insight number 7 is Barbara's passion for excellence. All the time, she would work ridiculous hours to get her song, the recording that she did, the movie, the editing of the movie. Her commitment to excellence was remarkable, and she said she ran out of time all the time. Was never perfect, She did the best that she could, but she kept working like crazy within the time frames that she had to do the absolute best, and kept redoing, would rewrite scripts for movies. Gosh, it's such an inspiring story about the power of passion and the energy that it gives us when we go, I want to achieve something wonderful. Well, be inspired by her passion for excellence, and I hope this show inspires you to tap into your passion through the work, your passion for the work that you're doing, so that you strive for doing what you can to the best of your ability, and the joy that gives you, and the reinforcer of what each one of us is capable of. You just keep going on this journey, and you overcome the doubts, and you keep tapping into that unlimited source of energy to create magnificence. At the end of the book, she talks about how much work it was. I think she said it was 10 years to get the book done. Prince of Tides, it took her years to get the funding. Yentl, it took her years to get the funding. And her passion, not only for excellence, but then her passion for getting the funding done. Even though she was a superstar, the studios wouldn't just throw money at her because she was a superstar. And that was a great reminder as well. We think that the celebrities can easily get access to the money that they want. No, she couldn't, and she is truly a global superstar. So, I rave about the book. Be inspired by it. Learn from it. Gain deep self-awareness. And all my work is about you understanding the power of self-awareness for you to be able to live life on your terms. This book will help you to do that. I have one big query about Barbra. I wouldn't vote for Kamala Harris. I would vote to Donald Trump 10 times before I'd vote for Kamala Harris. Barbra is a committed Democrat, and it's interesting reading her perspective. The book was only published this year. Why she's a Democrat, because she thinks that's going to be better for people than the Republicans. It was an interesting perspective. And I'm not inspired to be a Democrat supporter from her book. And it's interesting that she is. And, where she explains it in this way that says, we are 99.9% the same as everyone. Why can't we all get along with each other? And that's a lovely dream. And, one of the key principles that I've adopted over the years is that the desire for utopia is insanity. And for whatever reason, God has made us significantly different. Whilst we're 99.9% the same, we have some pretty profound, different views. And I am implacably opposed to socialism, Marxism, communism. I'm all about free enterprise. And so you get really clear, I'm all about helping people who genuinely need help. I'm not in the business of helping people who are bludgers. So there you are. There's my honest view about what goes on. I want to create, and I believe, governments try to create a space where people who are like Barbra Streisand, she could have easily given up. Why didn't she give up? That's an interesting, intriguing question. When you read the book, you can read that. Why didn't she give up? And many people do. They say, it's all too hard. Let the government look after me. I don't like looking after people who can look after themselves. So I hope today's show makes a beneficial difference to your life, to the way that you think. And I consider your life is meant to be all that you are capable of making of it. If you're new to the show, check the foundational principles of the show and my background, and also the websites kovess.com and charleskovess.com. Again, thanks for watching or listening, and may you have a wonderful week. Embrace the challenges that life gives you. Embrace the ever-increasing problems that come about because of your commitment to excellence. As you get better, your problems get bigger. Love your problems. You deserve them. And at the same time, look after your health in terms of what you put into your body. I put coffee in there. It's clearly doing a great job for me. What do you put into your body that helps you be healthy? Have a great week. See you next week. Bye.